Okay, it says I can't do it because the engines are running. Hang on a second. Not a problem, not a problem. Okay, this is pissing me off now. Are you going to load the damn fuel now?
Hi, flat boy.
I can't tell whether or not AirHauler detected this or not.
TOS system test. Okay.
Time to 3,800 feet. Okay. So by that message, it is tracking me. Okay, good. It's tracking me. All right, climb to 3,800 feet. Yep. I went one street too far. If I was going to stay in the pattern here. Yep. As you can tell by the huge long lights right down there, I'm one block over. It's alright. I need to make that turn one block sooner. It's okay. I just turned away from international there. Stay out of their airspace. We'll stay out of their airspace. About this time I'll be telling what's my tail number in this plane? Merrill traffic, Golf Sierra Alpha, request leave your airspace, Merrill. And they give me permission because I'm exceeding their traffic pattern altitude. So I'm going to be outside of their course and into. They'd have me contact Anchorage Center. Let's say Anchorage Center, Golf Sierra Alpha with you. 2370 climbing. And they contact back me and ask me to squawk transponder code. I would. They would confirm my altitude against what I show. I would confirm what they say. I'd make sure it matched mine. Or if it didn't, then we do some corrections. But at this point, because I'm higher than Merrill's traffic altitude, they yeah, frequency change approved. Yeah, I just left. I'm too high for Merrill. And actually now, as I cross over, no, I haven't crossed Boniface yet. Wouldn't technically be out of their airspace as far as that. Right now in real life, I'll be entering the CAR-T airspace, which is a controlled airspace for Merrill Field. I mean, not for Merrill Field, for Elmendorf. I don't know where. I don't want to even talk to you. How do I? What's the button for the stupid air traffic control here? I don't know what it is, and they're going to be yapping at me over and over and over again, and I have no idea. Like, I don't know the button for. It's not that.
Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha frequency change.
Yeah. I can change the frequencies, then I won't hear them at all. There we go. No, I can't hear him. All right, we're still climbing to 3,800. All right, we're gonna reduce the power a little bit because we're getting up there pretty close to that 3,800. Power is altitude. Pitch is speed. All right. Turn heading 099 and level out at 3,800. All right, Rena. Zero 099, level out at 3,800. Turn 331, all right, and level out 3,500. Turn heading of 207, level out 2800. So we're gonna stay in our slow descent here and turn to 207. Level out at 2800, okay. Land at PAMR. Alright, so PAMR is right down below us to the right. Right there. We're going to contact PAMR. I got for how to use this air traffic control. Actually, we're not going to contact them. Alright, we're just going to get into the pattern. Alright. So I'm going to overfly the airport above their landing altitude. So pattern altitude is 900 feet for Merrill, and I'm at 2,500, so I'm far above the pattern altitude. So what I would do, usually I like cross and then come into the teardrop, but in this case we're just going to descend into the pattern. There's not a lot of traffic out here, so we're going to come over the runway. We'll show you here from the external view. I'm right above the runway here. So I'm going to fly the runway heading, go down, make that turn over gamble on the crosswind leg, then do the downwind leg and fly to base, and we'll get down to pattern altitude here. So we're trying to get down to 900 feet is what we're trying to get down to. Power is altitude, so I've reduced the power. Pitch is airspeed, so we're still doing 80 knots as we slowly descend here. Roughly what happens is when I'm on that downwind leg going back, I need to be at 900 feet. Because what would happen is if I was taking off, I'd be climbing at like 400, 500 feet. I make the turn, that'd be like 750, and then back at 900 on the downwind leg. So that's our target. Is about the time we turn gamble, and then we turn base. Or turn downwind, I mean. So coming up on the gamble turn. Still descending through the turn here. We overshot it again by about a half a block. That's gamble right there off at my 11 o'clock right there. Passing to 1,000. And we're going to come right here. There's another street, not that one. Right around in here, we're going to be right around 900 feet. Alright, we need to keep some power on so we stay around 900 feet here. A little low, but it's okay, we're alright. I want to get up in my seat. There you go. Alright. So now we're running parallel with the runway. We could go flaps 10. Flaps 10 under 110. We're doing 80. We could certainly already deploy a notch of flaps. Alright, we're almost abeam the runway, so we'll probably do a notch of flaps here. Flaps, just 10. I want flaps to 10. Close enough. We drift a little bit to the left there. Alright, runway's just passing under the wing there. Alright, we're gonna get ready to make our left turn. We're going to do another notch of flaps. Should be just short of Boniface when we make this turn. Not quite lined up with that runway over there. Close, but not quite. So Boniface actually lines up with the runway. We're going to be just inside of Boniface. And our turn to land for landing is the Home Depot, which it's not really a Home Depot here. It's just a little like shopping center on our left-hand side. Go ahead and throw out full flaps. Now we should be able to glide this thing in here. How is that possible? Their Home Depot is past where Home Depot is. That's okay.
500.
Oh, all right. I got it. I still got plenty of room. I'm a half mile out. I can turn in.
Minimums.
Power out. Why? It looks like there's a truck sitting on the runway down there.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
What a greaser. What a greaser. Can I make that taxiway? Ooh, I could. Them brakes stuck. Alright, swing over here by Wings of Freedom. About this time, I'd be asking for clearance to go to ground. And they tell me to contact ground. I'd contact ground, but go down. Landing light off, taxi light on. This thing's like, is it because of the ice? I don't know. I just took out a marker light. That guy's near my entrance to my parking area. I would normally have gone over at least one more lane, but it's all right. Don't know what these floating lights are here. Got a parking spot coming up right here. Mixture out. Oops, flaps up. No issues. Of course not. I've done this flight so many times. Like literally. I've literally done that flight so many times. Alright. Boom, boom, boom. My instructor likes just like the beacon on. So when the power's on, you can instantly see the beacon flashing. Somebody left the power on. Or somebody left the power. Yeah, so. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Wait. No, the other way. What are you doing? There it goes. Why can I not turn battery and master it off? There we go. Master it off. Alright, so let me jump out here. I passed my, let me see, let me show you guys this here. Let me add a source here. Add source, display capture. Okay, yeah, you guys should be able to see that. Let me minimize the, so okay. There you go, so you guys can see my display here. That's in 1080p. Let me fix that, hang on. You guys will see an inception date here. Alright, that's not inception date, you guys here. That's, there we go. Alright. So there's AirHauler2 startup. Did my type rating on a Cessna 172. I had no doubt, literally, that flying a Cessna 172 out of Merrill, coming back and landing at Merrill as a student pilot, that's just my thing. I can do that. I can fly that pattern over and over and over again. It's just like, I know where I am in the Merrill airspace. All right. So, but that's good. So, finish the flight monitoring. There's still cargo on board. Yes. So, the flight was smooth. This is time UTC. Took off at 4:43:10 a.m. UTC. Landed at 4:58 a.m. UTC. Max altitude was 3988. Max pitch was -11 degrees. Max roll was 35-degree bank angle. I tried to stick around 30-degree bank turns. I guess I did hit a 35 at one point. I didn't catch that. My max speed was 91 knots. I only hit, my minimum G's were 0.82. My max were 1.28. That was on liftoff. Literally, that would have been like me pulling the stick to get off the ground. Landing speed, 121 feet per second at 55 knots. That was a butter. Like, that's why it says smooth. We touched down and just rolled out of it. That was fantastic landing. So, available jobs for my little pilot here. All right, so hang on. First of all, let's go to the company info page. Or not. I'm not used to this. All right, so here we go. So the fleet is a cargo plane. It's not set up for packs. I'm not rated for passengers yet. Cargo plane, Cessna Skyhawk, in 100% condition. I have no money. Here's my office. It's easy to go from here. So here's, we've seen my pilot. My pilot log is nothing other than my test. So, in current rated aircraft, wait, hang on. There's a thing to see. Type ratings. Does it not show mine? Oh, I guess those are only for hired pilots. Alright, okay. Doesn't show me. Anyway, does it show me under management? No, what the heck? Under management? No. Don't know. Alright, anyway. Let's get back out of this. Go here to available jobs in the area. Available cargo jobs. So there's PAMR. Remember, it's just system saying too, I don't have a lot of cargo room. So I want to do the ones that are out of PAMR. So I can say out of PAMR. Some of these are kind of far away. 5AK4 is over. Where is that? Okay. Up the Kane or up the Matsu. What is 5AK4? Like, that's got to be like close to. I mean, I would do like a bush flight rate and like occasionally go over to. I'm blanking on the name of the glacier or the name of the gas station, but that's 931 kilograms for 12K. I think we'll take that one. We'll take it. Accept the job. All right. So now we go cargo ops. No, wait a minute. Go. I want to go to the fleet, right? Aircraft management. No. This is a different interface slightly than. Let's go here. Let's close all these screens and go just to company info fleet. Here we go. All right. We have a cargo capacity of 544 and we got to take 941. So we can't take it all. Because of my weight and the weight of the fuel, we can't take all of it. So let's load what we can. No. Partial load. How much? Let's load 420. We want to take half it. So it's 931. Half would be 450. 465. 466 for our first portion. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then from the airport. Okay. Fly this aircraft self. Come on. Fly this aircraft. Where are we going from? PAMR. You selected. Where are we going to? Okay, we got that cargo. Okay. And then we're going to 5AK4. Night VFR is what we're going to do. From last position, say accept the route and fly. Click OK. And we go back here. Click continue. All right. Master on. Avionics on. The beacon's on. Make sure full. Throttle to about 14%. Flaps are up. Avionics on. I've got power. Turn the fuel pump on.
TOS system test. Okay.
Adjust throttles to 1,000 RPM. We do not have an RPM meter, do we? This plane doesn't have an RPM meter. Alright, close enough. Alright, we finished turning stuff on now. Turn the Garmin G1000 on. Taxi light, nav light, beacon light. Pitot heat on. We want cabin power in case you want to run that iPad or whatever you want to run. Flaps are up. With that cabin heat on just so we're warmer in here. Give ourselves a little bit of, so we don't freeze to death here. Alright, where are we at here? Everything looks good. Alright. We would request clearance, you know, Merrill Tower, request clearance BFR, PAMR 58K4, Golf Sierra Alpha, Type Cessna 172, Merrill. They would respond back with our transponder code, blah 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 blah, give us our clearance, tell us to contact them, contact Tower when ready, and transfer us over to ground. We'd contact ground. We'd request taxi to the active. Tell them, you know, Merrill ground. Type Cessna 172, Golf Sierra Alpha, location Wings of Freedom, request taxi to the active. They'd give us taxiway clearance and tell us which way to go. Tell us to go over to 25 left. Or 25 right, doesn't matter, one. We would then respond back our clearance. We give them the path that they told us to go, and then we'd start the taxi. So let's pull out of our parking here, taxi, and take off. I think I will. A little bit of snow on the taxiway out here. These guys are trying to clear it, I guess. Interesting weather effect they got going on there. I was going to change it today, but I couldn't get. I was also going to try and change the weather. I couldn't figure out how to get it changed, so I said the heck with it. Just gave up. I'm not sure why they have lights in the middle of the taxiway. Like there's something kind of hinky about. So I want to do right here. I want to watch for people coming in. All right. What we want to do here is we want to get it up around 1,000 RPM. There is an RPM gauge. It's on the right hand side. We use 1250. That's fine. All right. So what I did notice is that there's no. I do not see. I'm blanking on the term. The heat for the carburetor. I don't see a carb heat button, but I can do the magnetos. So we're going to go 2 clicks left, and when I did that, We lost a little bit of power, but we didn't die. Alright, what's about to be expected. Running off one magneto. Let's put it back to the right. Alright, and the power should have went back up. Back up to 1250. Alright. Went from 1240 down to 1170. So we didn't even lose 100 RPM by doing that. Alright, let's come down here. And we'll do it one notch left now to run on the other magneto. So one left. Down to 1170 again. Okay. Consistent. One magneto or the other. Alright, back to the right. So we're back on both magnetos. Yeah, there's no carburetor heat on this plane. No carb heat. Alright, so back to idle. Parking brake off. Lights, camera, action. So we request clearance from the tower. Merrill Tower, Golf Sierra Alpha, ready for takeoff, runway 25, Golf Sierra Alpha. And they would respond back, blah, 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 telling us we're cleared or not cleared based on traffic or other demands. And we switch from taxi to landing. And we turn on to the active. Don't see anybody out there in the pattern. Alright. We're going to do a mild rolling takeoff here. So we're going to turn out onto the numbers here. And as we get lined up, we'll just go ahead and firewall the throttles. Watch that rudder. Keep the plane's going to keep trying to torque to the left because of the engine. Try and keep it somewhere close to the center line. Give us a notch of flaps here. Gonna try and climb out around 75 knots here. Yep, look at it. We're right around 64. We just went ahead and floated off the runway. No extra effort. I love how it's telling me terrain. Of course there's terrain. I'm in a town. Right around 450 feet. I should be right near where I need to make my turn at here. I have no idea what it keeps yakking to me about. Now, see here, this plane, every time I do the 450 feet, it's one block too far. So we're staying sort of in the pattern here until we get ready to transition out of it here. They would go ahead and give it to me in a minute. They would tell me that I was clear to depart their airspace. Of course, I'm off their frequency, but if I go back to it, yeah, Merrill Tower, Golf Sierra Alpha, request permission to leave your airspace. Golf Sierra Alpha, contact anchorage center, blah, 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 blah. I changed frequencies. Golf Sierra Alpha, or Anchor Center, Golf Sierra Alpha, 150 feet, or 1500 feet. Golf Sierra Alpha, they'd make me squawk my transponder, and then confirm whether or not we agreed my altitude and my location, and I would ask at that point for a request to transition the car to airspace. I'm going to be passing through the Cartier airspace. I'm going to stay out of Elmendorf's airspace. I'm going to stay to the right of the highway. To the right of the highway. While I do that, let me come over here and do this. You guys got to see me do that. I updated the stream info. Boom. It's marked. There we go. Back into the simulator we go. So again, the intent is to stay the highway down here. We need to stay on the outside of it. This is Elmendorf airspace over here. Belongs to the military. We got to stay in between the highway and the mountains. And we need to over here this button. Wait, we got to be on the FM on the panel for this to work. Menu, direct to 5 AK. Whoops. Direct to oops. This thing's a pain in the butt, if you want to know the truth. I wish I could just type. Oops. Drifting by the highway. Careful, careful, careful. It's a problem with trying to do this stuff on this, like not being able to just reach over with my hand and do it, where I got to do this whole thing. Let's kind of get leveled off here for a second. Trying to get the nose down so we're coming close to something like 100 knots. The problem doing this panel is that's too, I want it zoomed out. God dang it, I can't get that range to, I don't want to pan, I want the range. We're still flying good inside the cockpit here. There we go, that's what I wanted. Now it did it. Alright, there we go. Now I feel better. So we're crossing over Eagle River now, or approaching Eagle River. Eagle River Glacier up the river valley there. No autopilot, by the way. Autopilot's not engaged. This is all pitch and trim at the moment. All pitch and trim. Alright. On our way over to 58K4 with half of our load of whatever it is we're delivering. It's the inaugural flight of our new AirHauler2 airline here. And our one pilot, one aircraft fleet. Little Cessna 172. We did our type rating flight and passed it pretty much perfectly. Greased that landing, butter smooth landing. So I've been following the highway. Now we're going to kind of swing toward PAMR. There's Birchwood down to the left. Oh, excuse me. Yep, Birchwood down there to the left. We're cruising at 2300 RPM. We probably actually cruise around 2250, but this plane's holding nice and well in the green at 2300 RPM, so we'll leave it there. We're getting a little bit of icing here. That's what I was a little bit afraid of, being up here this high. It is Alaska. I may need to descend. Let's go ahead and descend down. Maybe we can get into some slightly warmer air. Getting a little bit of icing. Might get a little bit of icing on the wings too. I turned the cabin heat on, didn't I? I could have swore I did. Cabin heat on. Airflow. Let's turn the airflow up to 100% so we can't get those windows thawed out. But yeah, this plane, I couldn't find a carb heat switch, so it'll be an interesting night flight. with possible icing conditions. Just want you to know that this is going to be an adventure. Flying over these mountains with possible icing conditions. Little scary. Alright, we're getting ready to pass over Palmer's Airport. It's the Kinnick River off our right wing, going up to the Kinnick Glacier. We're actually going to follow the Matanuska River, is what we're actually going to follow. Again, we got the icing on the windshield. Excuse me. Estimated time in route is another 48 minutes. And I noticed some that might seem like a lifetime, but it's not. It's like when you're up there in a plane, 48 minutes just flies right on by. You know, to be honest, if in real life I'd be talking to every one of these airfields I talk by, like as I pass over PAMR here, like I'd be telling PAMR traffic, Golf Sierra Alpha, 5 miles southwest, PAMR. 4500 feet. Direction of travel 025, Golf Sierra Alpha, letting them know, hey, I'm up here, I'm passing over your heads, nobody freak out, my intentions are to pass over. Your free to maneuver down there at pattern altitude. If you are planning on leaving, be aware that I'm up here. Just a little common courtesy, letting everybody know what's going on. That's how air disasters are avoided, by common sense and a little communication. Doesn't take much, just a little communication. I mean, I'm well above their pattern altitude, so to them they don't really care. It's just a polite thing to do to let them know that I'm out here. Obviously I'm flying at night right now, but in the summertime, PAMR is a jump zone. They do people parachute over PAMR, and so you know anywhere between like 0 and 10,000 feet. So there could be like a plane up there like 10,000, you know, getting ready to drop parachutes out. They'd like to know I was in the area. So, and we're almost right over it now, like just right off the nose there. Ugh. Oh. Again, for I'm flying off the stick. The autopilot is not on. It is not engaged. We are holding this altitude and airspeed using pitch and trim. So power is altitude, so we're 4,900 feet. Slowly climbing because of my RPM setting of 2240. My airspeed is at 92 and a half because of where I have the nose set. We're going to turn a little bit left to kind of miss those peaks. As you can see, I moved the stick just a little bit. Flight controls a little bit to the left, and the plane responded. Glass cockpit here, we can kind of see the terrain that we're flying over and around. Don't trust your instruments though, your eyes are the most important thing. River valley down to our left, river up our nose. Part of the Chugach range over here on the left, the Alaska range on the Chugach range on the right, Alaska range on the left. We're going to shoot the gap between the two mountain ranges here, down the Matanuska River. That's that waterway right there below us, the Matanuska. Coming from the Matanuska Glacier. Glacier view, town over by the glacier itself. Famous for the 4th of July celebration, where they launch, instead of shooting off fireworks, they launch cars off the side of the cliff. So if you see our course line in the lower right hand corner, the proposed course line of a direct straight line is over there to our right. We're going to follow the river valley here, which will at one point bring us right back to that line. At which point we'll be really close to the town of Eureka. Well, technically, when the water starts to peter out there, we're near Glacier View, but our destination is really close to the town of Eureka. What time is it anyway? Eureka. As you can see, our current bearing is taking us closer and closer to the mountains on the other side of the river valley. We're going to wait till we're a little more over the top of the river and angle to the right. We'll be passing over areas such as Chickaloon and I don't remember all those towns, but usually just drive through them way faster than probably should, but so it's interesting the perspective you get from here. You see the road going really close to the river, and it does. There are a lot of times down there where it goes close to the river. There's some houses down there. People have been forced to leave their house because of erosion. The river is really like taking away the bank that their houses are on. So some of them people down there have lost their home. Some of them want the state to pay them back or whatever. Like, you chose to build your home on a riverbed. Rivers don't flow in a straight line. You've lived there for like 50 years, 40 or 50 years, some of those people. Of course the river was going to change its path in that time. They had all those opportunities during all that time to shore up the riverbank by their house. They could have done something like put in concrete pilings, bring in boulders, something to shore up their own land. They didn't. They let Mother Nature do its thing. If you live along the Mississippi and the Mississippi floods every year and you complain because it flooded, come on. You live in Florida, you get hit by a hurricane every year, and come on. So this website, this airport that I'm headed to, Sky Ranch. I think I actually have seen Sky Ranch, the sign for Sky Ranch when I'm like driving to Valdez or driving to Gokana or driving to Glenallen. Pretty sure I've seen the sign for the Sky Ranch or whatever it is airport. It might even be one that I recently looked at, like a land for sale listing. Like property for sale within easy reach of the airstrip at Sky Ranch. I'm looking for some land here in Alaska, but, over the next couple of years. I want a piece of land sort of close to the highway system, not really close to the highway system. Like, I'm okay with it not being right on the highway. Like, if I have to get there by four-wheel or I have to get there by snowmobile in the wintertime. But I want it to be enough land where I can clear like 1,000 feet for a runway, for a gravel runway. And then I want to put a couple cabins out there. Maybe rent the cabins. Fly people out to the cabin if they need being flown out to the cabin. And if I can do that, then it wouldn't matter. Like wintertime, I could just put skis on the plane and land on skis. I'd like to be close to a river for hydropower and for fishing, but not for landing the plane, because yeah, I could land on the river in the wintertime when it's iced over, but then there's a time when it's not. If you have to land on floats, is there a tree or something floating in the river that you can't see when you're coming for a landing? I don't really want to deal with that. I'd rather land on, now if there's a big wide riverbank like the Matanuska down there, some of those riverbanks, 200, 300 yards wide of nothing but gravel. Wide. Forget about long. Like, they'll be like miles long. But from where the water is running through the gravel, there'll be like these big, huge, monstrous patches of gravel. I mean, like on the Kinnick, go down there, people four-wheel on the Kinnick Riverbank all the time. It's just big, huge, wide riverbank. There's a campground on the riverbank. Which is why when I say these people down here that are losing their homes, they've had time to see the erosion happening. It's not sudden. This is not like they had a house one day and a mudslide came along or whatever and washed out their house. No, they've had years to see what the river was doing. So, I feel for them, but I don't feel for them, if that makes any sense. So as you can see, the road kind of parallels the river here. Like I hear, I'm over the river, and this whole time that I'm flying along this, the road is also paralleling that. And again, when you're driving that road, headed east out of PAMR, you see the river, you don't see the river, you see the river, you don't see the river, you see the river, you don't see the river. It's just one of those things that, yeah. And I'm getting a whole bunch of beeps in Discord. It's Blakebird. Alright. Poor Blakebird, dude. I'm probably gonna read that on my phone. Like, switch over to Discord on my phone. All I know is I kept getting like Discord beep 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 beep. Alright, what are we doing? Oh, we've drifted a little bit to the left because we were doing that. Alright. Let's correct this flight path again. Like I said, we're not up out of here. This is all... Our icing went away. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we've obviously pulled into some warmer air. Warmer air without that dew point. So we don't have to worry about the cold air and the dew point conspiring to create an icing condition, which is good. Got rid of our icing. I'm in so many discords, I constantly get beep, 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 beep. Alright, we're still following the riverbank here. That's the plan. It is our path to safety. Bump out of this for a second. And let me stop the full screen. Where's my full screen? Display capture. We'll pause that for a second. Just take you guys back to the game. While I flip around a couple screens here. And while we are en route here, just following our riverbank nice and safely. If you don't mind, I'm going to hit the Gibby ads button. Where's my Gibby ads button? Gibby ads. So there you go. Why does it keep flashing that? Is that where my mouse is? Oh, I guess my mouse happened to be hovering right here. I'm sorry for that. It kept flashing. Turned avionics bus off. That's where my mouse happened to be in the other window, and that was interesting. Kept thinking I wanted to hit that button. So let's go ahead and pan our map over now. Get our plane more over on the left-hand side. And because we're going up at an angle, we'll also pan the map up. Maybe. Looks like the only way I'll be able to pan it up is if I'm actually on the dang thing. How you like that? Pan up. There we go. We can almost see where 5AK4 is going to be on the map. So this is a 50 nautical mile block. It says we are have an estimated time at 100 knots. We have an estimated time of half hour, which is right around 50 miles. Makes sense, right? So 30 miles out. Still good fuel flow, good oil pressure, good oil tip, good vacuum. Fuel quantity, we're still up around 22 gallons here. So we're good, we're doing good on all that. Check our, we're a little bit off the river. We're still by the highway, but we're a little off the river. Not that it matters. We're still flying along our course here. Again, the river is going to take us back toward that pink line, at which course we'll kind of deviate from the river and start moving more to just follow our course line. So at this point, we're sort of inside the boundary of the Chugach and Alaska mountain ranges, toward where they really start to come together right here by the Matanuska Glacier. and we're going to kind of pop right up over the top and be into south central Alaska, or well, just the south central interior, near Eureka, Glenallen. If I was going to fly from Anchorage to Valdez, I'd really be tempted to fly this route. It is longer than flying down to Whittier, popping up over Whittier, and then flying over the Prince William Sound to get to Valdez. That route is shorter. That route's all over water. As you can see, this route keeps me over a river that I can land on, the riverbanks, keeps me over a highway that I have a chance to land on. The restaurant and cafe in Eureka, the gas station there. People land their planes and put gas in their plane right there at the gas station. Most planes in Alaska have STC shirts to use regular pump gas from a gas station. Instead of having to get 100 low lead from an airport, you can use like 93 octane, 91 octane gas in your plane. So you can use standard pump gas. You use 87 octane too. You might not get the best performance out of 87 octane gas. All right, one moment, please. School tomorrow. Molly's gonna get you. Molly's gonna get you. She's protecting you.
Say, tomorrow I'm gonna do that hearing test again.
You're gonna do your hearing test again?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh?
Hey.
Hi, Peanut.
Hey, get Grandpa.
Hi, Peanut.
Come on. Come on, stop it.
I've been hiding all day. I found the moose for you. Just give me a hug.
Give Grandpa a kiss.
He did.
Did you give Grandpa his hug? Hey, who that? Huh? Who's that?
Superman puddles.
Stop it. That's right, hood over.
You tell her, Molly. You tell her.
We got two. We have two. Okay, go. Night night. Go brush teeth.
You go to bed. One moment, guys. I have moose in my backyard. You never know it's my office. Camera not on the stream. It hasn't? Oh, I'm entirely sorry, people. I did not know my camera. Why isn't the camera showing up? It's being detected. There we go. Well, I'm sorry you guys couldn't see me. Now you can. There you go. Here I was worried about you guys seeing me do stuff on stream and you couldn't see it. Well, not sure why. I've got so many sources, possible sources here. That's why. That's why. Okay. Now I know why. All I gotta do is do this. Hang on a second. There, now my sub goal is up there like it's supposed to be. There's there you go. There's stuff that was supposed to be up there you guys weren't seeing. I didn't know that. I am so sorry. There we go. Now, the camera is not supposed to be there either. It's supposed to be like down there. Yeah, that's good. Back inside the plane, make sure we're not doing anything stupid here. Alright, we're running out of river here. Running out of river. So I'm not saying you guys could see me doing light pressure on the stick. You couldn't see me doing light pressure on the stick. I apologize. Why are my marker lights on the outside not on? I know I have them switched on. I know I do. Look. My beacons are on. I don't know why that... I do not know. Ah! Really bright. Maybe too bright. Alright. So we're going to be now moving to follow more of the highway. As we come out of the river valley here, the river's going to kind of go off to the right there because of the glacier. So in real life, what this is right down here, you guys have trouble seeing it, but right here, hang on a second, I'm going to pause real quick. I didn't really want to pause this, but I want to pause it because I want to go to this source. I want you guys to get the better benefit of this. So if I go down here and find, this is the game capture, right, and go to filters and add a filter, color correction, and add the gamma. Well, that's way brighter than I can see it. I can tell you, I don't see it that bright, but it'll be good for you guys. That'll be good for you guys. Close. There you go. And then get the peek in. All right. So as you guys get to see this when it finally brightens up for you, it looks a lot brighter than that in my. Maybe I need to add more. Hang on. I thought that was going to be a lot brighter. Let me add more brightness to it. I thought that did a lot more. Let me see. Like somewhere in there. A little more. No, not that. I could do that. Give a little more like that. Okay, that looks really good for you guys. According to what I'm seeing here, that's... I don't know why. It looks better on my phone than it did on my laptop. My phone, that looks pretty good. Alright, anyway, so let's jump back in and I'll take it back off the pause again. So right over here is the Matanuska Glacier. This is the Matanuska Glacier. It comes down and you can actually go from this park. You can go down this dirt road and walk all the way down here and then walk out to the glacier. This is all privately owned property, so like you have to like get access to it. I mean, there's sort of ways to get to it from the public, but it's just easier to, like, if you wanted to give them their money and go in, because you can get right from their property, like right out to it. They've got a trail that goes right out to the glacier. So we're going to be leaving the Matanuska Glacier behind. Say bye-bye, Matanuska. We're going to stay on the Glenallen Highway here and keep pushing east, northeast along the Glenallen. So we're just going to keep pushing along the Glenallen. Let's come down on this screen. Let's zoom in one notch. Take the map over. Furthermore, we're going to fly from the lower right hand corner up toward the lower left hand corner up toward the upper right. So again, we're going to leave the Matanuska Glacier behind. What? Okay. As you can see, after we come around this mountain, we get into some really, I mean, there'll be mountains to our right, mountains to our left, but they won't be as close to the road. We'll be in the tundra portion of the southern part of the interior Alaska area. The voices you hear, they're discussing the two moose that are outside the window. What's Molly gonna do when she goes out on the deck? So watch yourself stepping back, Eddie. She's like right behind your foot. So we're about 17 minutes out now. It's going to be about 9:30. I'm not going to have time to do the return flight today. We'll probably try and do the return flight tomorrow. That'll be the plan, because obviously we've only brought half of our cargo over. We still have the other half to go. But we haven't brought half the cargo over yet. We're carrying half the cargo now. Interesting that they show, like you can see, there's not that many lights on the road here, which is pretty accurate. There wouldn't be that much traffic on the road, but it's weird that they show a section up ahead where there's like a lot of lights. Now you drive this road at night and you're either going to be with a bunch of traffic and see a bunch of cars, or you're going to see nobody. Yep, we're doing pretty good. All things considered, we've made quite a bit of progress here. It was, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit nervous when we were flying over PAMR and we had the icing conditions that we did. I wasn't sure I could get over the mountains if I was going to have to deal with icing at those altitudes. I did not want to try and fly in the dark, NOE, trying to stay down in the warmest air possible. So yeah, that was a little scary. This is one of those flights that I really look forward to making. I look forward to flying myself over to the fly-in in Valdez instead of driving my car. Now, don't get me wrong. This drive in my car, I've done this drive in my Veloster, I've done this drive in my WRX. This drive on this highway is a blast to do. Now, it's not fun when you get stuck behind somebody doing 45 miles an hour. It's not. But there are long stretches of this road. There's a stretch of this road, it's like a 10-mile straightaway. Like 10 miles, like just flat highway. No worries about state troopers. There's 60 state troopers for the most part on duty at the most at any one time in Alaska. Less at night, you know, it's like 60 during the busy time during the day. They can't patrol all 12,000 miles of the roads. The odds of you seeing a state trooper are really, really low. 110, 120, 125, 130 miles an hour on that 10 mile an hour straightaway. Like, you know, like don't get in my way doing 45 miles an hour. You know. So the estimated time Anchorage to Valdez is 6 hours. I usually do it in like 4 hours and 45 minutes, and that includes stopping in Eureka. So I have done it in a little over 5, actually eating breakfast in Eureka. So yeah. So again, we're holding. We have barely moved the controls at any point here in this flight, like very little. Letting the plane fly itself. Power is altitude, pitch is airspeed. Our power setting has us at 6,100 feet right now in this air, with a barometer of 2979. Obviously, the barometer's been changing, so we haven't really moved. Okay, we've been flying pretty flat and level, maybe a little bobble here and there. The difference in the reading here is the barometric pressure. So we have climbed, but the largest reason why we've climbed is the difference in air pressure. This power setting with this air pressure has us climbing to 6150. And a different air pressure, we would be like settling down around that 5,000 mark that I tried to keep us at. The angle of the nose, or angle of attack going through the air, has us around 92 knots. I wanted to do 100, but I quit trying to mess with the trim. The plane was comfortable at this with this attitude. That's power and angle of attack together is the attitude of the plane. How the plane's sitting in the air. So I'm leaving it that way. Our true airspeed is 100 knots. So we're doing 100 knots over the ground. We're kind of following the road. You can see now that our course, you can see the road curves back to the right, and that's where our course line is. We've been kind of following the highway. I could kind of cut this angle right here and head for where we see the road is where the road is going to be, over there, instead of strictly following the highway. Now, in the interest of safety in real life, I would follow the highway. I would follow it knowing that at any time, if something happened to the plane, I have a flat piece of surface down there that I can put the plane down on. That's my possible like emergency landing location. So Alaska pilots think a lot about where would I go if I have to land. So like I said, back then when we were following the river, that's why I would probably prefer to fly, even though it would take me longer to get to Valdez flying this way. I would probably prefer to fly this way to get to Valdez as opposed to going down to Whittier, pop up over the mountain, and then fly over the Prince William Sound, because number one, you got to make that climb over the mountain. Then you got to, after you get over the mountain, you've got Whittier as your possible landing spot down there, but you've had that possible climb over the mountain, possible icing conditions, possible weather conditions, all kinds of issues. Then you get over, then once you leave Whittier, the banks of the, I mean, they're not steep, but the mountains are along the Prince William Sound are kind of steep. They don't have a lot of beach. And yes, there are some islands out there, but they're covered in trees and rocks. And it's like, so flying over the Prince William Sound, shorter, can be done. People do it all the time, and maybe if I get more comfortable, I would be willing to do it. But flying this route, while it takes a little bit longer, and you still have to go over the mountains, you have to go over Richardson Pass, which has some of the most snow on the planet. You have to go over that pass to get into Valdez. But at that point, you're literally, the pass is, you're right at town. You're 10, 15, 20 miles out of town. You pop up over the pass, and then the airport for Valdez is right down below you. But the majority of your flight, this whole flight, is pretty much covered. And I believe that HNE, I want to look something up. I believe HNE is Eureka. That's Tahitna Pass, or Tanetta Pass, I'm sorry, Tanetta Pass Airport. And from Tanetta Pass, technically Tanetta Pass Airport, believe it or not, still has a PAMR address. That's unreal. Like, it's nowhere near PAMR, but it has a PAMR address. So that's Tulsa, that's Glenallen. I wanted to say that set of lights right down there below us. Yeah, that's Eureka Lodge. That's what I thought. So just so you'll know, can I? That lighted area down there, let me get back inside the cockpit. That lighted area right down there is Eureka Lodge. Great food, great pie, great coffee, and a favorite gas station for pilots who are making this flight or a flight similar to this. They just prefer to stop at Eureka Lodge and top off the tanks. In this case, we're still sitting at 20 gallons. We have great fuel flow. Estimated time en route to our airport is only 7 more minutes. So I think, I don't want to be in free look. God dang it. I hate the fact that somehow it detected my mouse was in free look again. Let's go ahead and once again we'll pan our I wish this pan thing, like, oh, I can if I do this, like, it is holding it. All right. You notice it's right along the road. The road is kind of zipping there. You can see the road. So this airport's going to be right along the road. I thought I had seen this airport sign before. I really did. So as the plane gets closer to the center there, we'll then zoom in a little bit closer. So I don't think this airport's going to be lit. Try to make this kind of interesting. If this is 20, that's about 10. Okay. Excuse me. Notice that ground down there, it's all, according to the terrain thing, it's almost perfectly flat, and it is. That's pure Alaskan tundra down there. Yes, there are mountains, but they're off. Off a few miles from us now here. It's interesting, here it's showing me my wind speed is 2 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour, almost dead wind, like dead. Let me look this up real quick here. Let me go to my flight aware app. Let's do a VAR. Let's go do a VAR. Or maybe I won't use a VAR right now. 5AK4, 5AK4. Snowshoe Lake, Glenallen. Take me there. You don't want to show me what it looks like. Okay. Look at the air nav listing. Runways are 16 and 34. So we need to be coming in on a heading of 340. So we're going to angle off kind of to the right. They also have a runway 18 west, 36 west, which is water. We do not want to land on the lake. Alright. So it's going to be right on the edge of a lake. So let's go ahead and we want to get the runway on a bearing of, what did I say? Of 340. We want the airport to be 340 from us. Its elevation is 2380, and we are currently at 6240. So we're not quite 4,000 feet above it. In real life, it's a private use airstrip, probably for people who live on the lake. So again, we're gonna, that lake over there is kind of what we're looking at. We're in a nice lazy turn to the right. Oh, I gotta move this cursor clear across the map. Come on. You want to pan across the map like I told you to? Again, we're going to want to, oopsie, we want the airport like sort of in the middle here. Alright. Yeah, we're going to want the airport to be right around bearing 340 from us. So, if you'll notice right now, the direct track supposedly to it is 40 degrees, and we're on a bearing of 105. So we're going to swing out a little wide here and get it where the track to it is, direct track to it is, what did I say, 340 or close to 340? Relatively close to 340. That's the plan, Stan. As you can see on the map down here, we're just down south of it. So we need, for it to be 340, it needs to be up and to the left, not directly above us, because that'll be roughly 360. We need it to be like 350, then 340. We need to be like over in here from it. We're now flying further away. So let's bend the curve. start to curve back. Alright, that's the plan. And then down here we can there we go. So now we're flying almost due east. On a bearing of 85. Why does it still show us with a track of 40? We should be cutting that now. Yeah, that direct track thing is wrong. Shouldn't be listening to it. Alright, let's get ourselves aimed toward those lakes up there. Aim back toward the road out there. Take a little bit of power out. So just so you'll know, there's that river down there. There's the 3 lakes. So if we look right here, there's a river, then there's the 3 lakes. The river's right there off our nose, and there's the 3 lakes. Right out there in front of us. It's the 3 lakes. So we should be popping onto this map right around here, near this horseshoe bend. Is where the plane should be popping in here in a second. Actually, I think I'm a little off to the right of that. Okay, I'm looking at the map down here. I'm a little bit to the right. I'm more like right here on this corner. I think I swung a little too wide. That's why it helps to have more than one map. And reconcile them with what you see outside the window. So those are the lakes right there off my nose. So now I'm coming in like right around in here. I'm aimed for yeah. Yep, that's where I'm aimed. I'm gonna cross right here. See what the river is right here. And that's about the right thing to go on a bearing of 340. I need to I want to turn right here, roughly on a bearing of somewhere right in there. Just going to be airport right off my nose. It's going to be kind of hard to see here in the dark. We might need to overfly it a couple times so we can really get a good understanding for where this place is. Get a good understanding of it from the 3 small lakes, from the big lake. Like right here, I can't even see the big lake out the window. There's not enough light to see the larger lake that should be off my left right here. Let me pause. I wouldn't have time to pause this in real life, but let me pause this just so I can zoom this in a little more and get a better idea for what I'm looking at as far as this is concerned. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting here. We'll find it. We will find it, but it shall be interesting. According to this, I'm flying right at it, although my landing needs to be a little bit more to the right. So should be almost overflying it now. Yeah, I should be overflying it right now. I did. Okay, I overflew. It is those lights. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was those lights or not. Alright, so that's good. It's the lit area down there. Alright. That's good. Alright, let's swing back around here. We'll swing out toward the highway as we slowly descend. Remember the altitude was 2380 as airport altitude, so 2380. And also have to remember that the compass up here in Alaska, due north is not straight up and down. It's kind of off at an angle, so you can't always go like this says north is up. Well, yeah, north in general is up, but actual compass bearings, that's not 360 is not a perfect straight up and down. It's close, but not quite. So we're circling out and away. Yeah, I want to see what happens. Like, there's those lights back there off my. Okay. Looks like if I just cross the road, the lights will be right there. This ought to be interesting. This shall be interesting. Buckle up your seatbelts, folks. This is going to be fun. Obviously much easier in the day. Be much easier to determine what's the actual airport and what's not during the day, or what's the airstrip, I should say. I couldn't really get into a pattern attitude here or altitude because I was still a little high. We're going to circle back. We're going to see the roadway. And then right by the roadway is going to be a little set of lights. Trying to slip some airspeed here with the rudder. Like lose some altitude. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We're trying to lose altitude here. Why does it look there's a car headed toward my airstrip? Okay. It's interesting. It has cars headed right at my airstrip. Yeah, there's cars on my airstrip. I'm a little fast here. I'm a little fast. Not beating up airspeed enough. I gotta lose 200 feet. Those cars in my way. That's not good here. All right, go
100.
go around, go around, go around, go around. Smart and prudent thing to do. Do not plow it into the trees. We were a little high. I tried to bleed off some altitude with the slip, and we didn't bleed off enough. So, smart thing to do. It says be the responsible pilot. Circle back and try it again. It was weird, like I said, the lights are right there. I was lined up perfectly. It was interesting, the cars kept turning and going down the runway. But my largest problem there was that I was still just a little high. I didn't want to force it down to the ground. I had way too much airspeed. I crossed the numbers, what would have been the numbers, at like 85 knots. And that was me kind of trying to force it to the ground. And that would have been a really long landing roll right into that tree line at the other end. Better off, we had flaps, just apply the power and climb out and say we'll do it again. We're much lower now. We're only 700 feet off the ground, turning crosswind, or turning base, I mean. Doing a base turn here. Not quite a true base. More of a rounded pattern here. But I'm only 700 feet up now, as opposed to like 1,000 feet. Close to 1,000 when I was almost at the airport. I was 1,000 feet up. So now we'll put out the flaps again. See where we are. The flaps ballooned us a little bit to almost 800 feet up, but that's okay. It's kind of like 60 knots. Nose down, get some airspeed back up. Let the plane do the talking here. I gotta find this strip again. So right there, is that what I'm looking for? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there. That patch of lights. That somehow miraculously becomes a strip when I get close to it. See, the problem is from up high, you can see it.
500.
Let's get outside the plane here. When I'm down low or up high, I can see it. I'm not quite lined up with it here. It's a little narrow too. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is a narrow patch in the trees here. At least I'm thinking this is the strip. It looks really narrow. I'm thinking that's not the strip. Hang on. Hang on. According to the map, I'm not quite at the strip. Hang on a second. Let's get a better idea of where we are here. Always better to... I think I was lined up on like a driveway. Yeah, this is the strip right here. It's this set of lights. We might be better off to do it the other way, like come toward the highway. Let's do it that way. Let's come out here and drop in just over those trees, and we'll come back toward the highway. I think that's a better way. Better way to approach it. It's going to be back there. I don't want to climb too high here. Yeah, we'll keep the lights of the lake I'm on our right, so I have the moonlight shining on the lake as a guide. So when we're coming in, we want to keep the lake on the right this time, not the left. Alright, kind of teardrop this thing around. Alright, we're right at 800 feet above runway altitude. There's the lake. Gonna swing around. The light's gonna be just to the left of the lake here. Right there. This will be better. I feel better already. 65 knots. 500 feet up. We should be getting the 500 feet warning here in a second.
500.
Yep, there we go.
500.
Just like I thought. There's a set of trees right here on this end of the runway. We're going to try and drop just over those trees. Make sure we're at full flaps again. Right at 65 knots. 65 knots, and we're floating over these trees. If I tip the nose down right there, you'll see the trees. We're coming right over the trees. We're full. We're in complete relax off the stick. No pressure. No pressure. Right before we touch down, we're going to pull back. There's that car coming right on the
100.
runway again. See, that's what I'm talking about. These cars are coming right down my runway.
50. 40. 30.
Again,
20.
we don't have a choice.
10.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, I kept it on the road. We're gonna. I'm gonna call that good here. We're down. Believe it or not, in Alaska you can land on roads. I mean, it would be better if I had announced my intention to land on a road. That being said, the problem is that the entrance road, like you can see, these cars are just like pulling right into this airport. Like they're just like pulling right in. Whoever's little grass strip this is. We brought them their goodies, alright? So parking brake on. Let's drop down here. Landing lights off, taxi lights on, nav, strobe, taxi, beacon stays on, fuel pump, pitot heat, cabin power. Make sure all the way out, flaps all the way up. Should have brought our flaps up already, but that's okay. Come down here, avionics off, master off. Come on. Continue. What are you doing, game? Stop. Master off, master off. I need to turn the key off. I can't see the key. Where's my key? I can't see it here because of... There we go. Power's off. We have just our flashlight on our head. Alright. We're cold and dark. Cold and dark. Come back over to our AirHauler screen, which is right here. I will put you guys back so you can see. Display capture. Where's display capture? Here. So you guys can see that. Now you can see this. So there we go. As soon as it pops up on the stream, so I know you guys see it. Okay, here we go. Finish flight monitoring. No, hang on, no. Come over here. We need to unload this cargo. Cosmetics. Unload. So there we go. We've now delivered some cargo. Say OK. finish the flight monitoring, get our results. So PAMR to 5AK4 took us an hour and 25 minutes. We used about not quite 80 fuel. Maximum altitude was 6,514 feet. 12-degree pitch bank or pitch. Maximum roll for any of our turns was 31 degrees. Maximum speed was 106 knots. Minimum G's, like floating. Again, our max G's was the takeoff at 1.3 because we pulled off the ground. Never stalled, never had an overspeed warning. The landing was okay. Our gear was down. It's a permanent gear down plane, so that wasn't an issue. We landed on grass, no damage. Our landing touchdown was 272, so not as good as our qualifier, but we were like coming in kind of like not. I didn't like that approach at all. But landing speed was at 58 knots. 2 mile an hour wind. Like it was a crosswind. We landed on a bearing of 160. The wind was at 270. Overall, good landing. So the plane is now over at 5AK4. PAMR. If we go back to our cargo ops, go to accepted jobs, we still have 460. We've delivered 466 kilograms. We're 50% done of the 931, which is going to net our pilot 12K. Our expenses so far, we started with a full tank of gas. We had some landing fees there. So if we go to management, no, not management, company information, and go to finance. Is it finance or ledger? Let's go to ledger. Company information, ledger. There we go. All right. So we started with money in the bank. We paid for our license test, which cost $329.05. We passed that with no problems. We purchased some fuel. None, because we already had a full tank. We had a full tank. We started here, and we just went with the fuel we had. We paid $2.45 in landing fees. And we've delivered half of our cargo. That cargo, again, paying out 12K. We've got another flight back, which will take us, obviously, roughly the same amount of fuel it took us to get here. And vice versa. We could, in theory, look at available jobs from 5AK4. So if we look at this, that's a job that's going back to A89. The only problem is I don't think it lets me take this job because of my current rating. It might. It might. In the other air haulers, it wouldn't let you take certain things like narcotics if you weren't like a certain level. That one's going up north. Obviously, doesn't help us. This flight right here would let us not fly empty going back. We could actually take a cargo back to A89. Then we're just a hop, skip, and a jump back to Merrill. And we make $5,000 on the way back. So I think I'm going to take that job, accept that job. Yes. And then go back here to I accepted it, right? Is it not letting me accept it? See, I don't think it will let me accept it. Is it still here? It's not there anymore, right? Okay. My cargo jobs. Okay, no, it's there. Right here. assigned pilots, cargo location, base storage at 5AK4. If I go over to my fleet, I can load and unload cargo. In this case, I can load that. And there we go. It's on the plane and it's all set to go. I can say OK and it would load the plane. I'm not going to fly this right now, but the good news is that the cargo on board is 100 kilograms going to 89. So I think maybe tomorrow, before or after I do some Tarkov, I'll try and do this flight to get back toward Merrill. Overall, I think the flight went pretty well. Considering the fact, like I said, there was a scare with the icing at PAMR when we passed over. So I'm gonna cut the stream here and say thanks everybody for stopping by. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. Yeah, it'll be in a new feed on my YouTube channel called AirHauling Alaska, or some silly name like that. But again, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate each and every single viewer, and I'll catch you guys later. But yeah, thank you very much.